Tell and Roadie, go tell and Roadie that everybody's call to him, he will come. She'll run to him like he's the one. His arms outstretched, but when she's done, he'll be torn apart.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another look back video for the Resident Evil series. Today we are doing Resident Evil 4's remake from 2023. The game is now going to be turning 3 years old on March 26th of this year, and it's been a very good 3 years of this game being out because it is my favorite remake in the Resident Evil series, and I could not be happier that it came out. Now, a little bit backstory for this game and the original is I played the OG RE4 before the remake was announced. The thing is, I only played through one chapter, and I stopped. I could not get any farther in it. I was actually terrified to get farther into it, even though it was a pretty brightly lit game compared to the remake. The remake is darker with the lighting tone, and it makes it more scarier, especially with the regenerators. But the original was so bright, and I was just terrified to play it. I was already accustomed to the Resident Evil games, but I just didn't play it all the way through. I wasn't even interested also. But when they announced the remake, I decided I'm gonna go back and play it and finish it. So that's what I did. I went back, I played through the entire game, and it was amazing. It was one of the best Resident Evils I played, and it got me to play RE5 and RE6. But it was just one of the best Resident Evils I played. Not as good as 7. 7 is still my favorite. We'll talk about that in the next look back video. But RE4 was just one of those games, and I understood why people had it so highly praised and say, oh, it's one of the best Resident Evil games, or it's one of the best games ever. And I can agree with that. It's not my favorite Resident Evil game. It's not my favorite game, but I can see where people are saying it's one of the best games out there, and it's the best Resident Evil game. And I would say the best moment of playing Resident Evil 4 was definitely just going through all the chapters, how long the game was, how long it took me. And the boss fights were just amazing. Like, you're seeing the boss fights from the remake in this video, and the ones I particularly liked. But the ones in the original were just so memorable, and the way they captured them in the remake were just awesome. And the new graphics and the lighting and stuff they had for it too, and the way you play them out, especially how they changed up 2 of the boss fights, I would say, that you're gonna see. It's just one of the best. But the thing that turns this game a little bit away for me is the action. Now that was for the original. When they announced the remake, I was so happy to be playing it. I was like, okay, from the trailers, from everything I've seen, this game's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna love it. I got it on day one. I started playing it that night, and I was just so immersed into it. When I finished the first chapter, I was like, okay, I want to keep going. I need to keep going. This game is so good. It's so and it just reminded me of every part that was in the original, and I was like, this is gonna be a great Resident Evil game. I'm gonna have fun. It's gonna make me love the series even more, and it did. And when I was going back for these games, I was like, Resident Evil 4 is going to be just that game that's going to take me so long to play through. And it did. It took me a few days. It took me basically a week to play through, because I did take some days off from playing it. so I could do other stuff too. But I was just having so much fun. I was going through it nice and slowly, picking up every item, getting every treasure, getting every merchant request done. It was just amazing. It took me 10 hours to beat this game. It took me about 16 for the first for my first playthrough, but it was just amazing. I had a lot of fun playing this game again, getting almost every weapon. I didn't even use the rocket launcher in this playthrough. I wanted to do everything by the book, and it was just amazing. Getting every treasure. I didn't get every treasure, but I tried. I did miss like a few, but I already had the achievements. I already had 100% on the game a while back when I was going back through the remakes and 100%ing those. So this was just basically a fun playthrough, just to do it for this video. But it's my favorite remake, and my second favorite remake is 2, but we spoke about that. But this is my favorite remake because of Leon's story just evolving in this, and them talking more about Umbrella and expanding that story for Leon, and then obviously Krauser's story with Operation Javier, pushing that story forward for people that don't know that story or haven't played that game. Was very cool. Krauser, his boss fight, I would say is better in the remake than in the original, because you're not having to grab 3 different pieces to unlock a door to get through the game more. You're having to just go through this whole entire little maze area, running away from Krauser and making sure you don't die, and having to use their knife tactics and grenades and weapons and all that just to get away from him, and then seeing his form just come alive, and then you're fighting him in this arena, and then the way he dies is just, I would say it's better than the original because it's more memorable. It's more honor to the character, because you realize, oh, in Krauser's final moments, he realized that Leon was right. Leon is the best he has gone up against, and it was just a memorable death for Krauser when Leon took the knife and just stabbed him right in the chest. But yeah. Now with Sadler, I would say they expanded Sadler more and toned down the kind of like comedy-esque in the game. You still got Leon's one-liners and Salazar and Sadler being absolute douchebags, but they're just more like, I would say, more like scary in this game. They're more like terrifying, especially with Sadler's final boss and just him bringing in the bugs as like a counter to you, and then they changed the ending of how he dies. Once you take him out the first time, there's a second phase where you're just in this little circle, dodging his tentacle attacks, waiting for Ada to throw you the rocket launcher, and then just stabbing him through the eye with his staff, and then pulling off that amazing one-liner. That was probably my favorite boss fight in the whole game. I am a little disappointed with Salazar. That was like the only thing I kind of got disappointed with the game, is because I loved when in the original he looked more like a child than a old kind of like mid-adult and child. And they didn't even give him his hat. He didn't have the hat from the original. I kind of hated that. I wish they gave him the hat and gave him more of a child-esque personality, but he still worked for a character. I'm glad he was still there. The boss fight, I would say, from the original was better than the remake, just because you're having to just run and like have to dodge him so much. Well, you had to do that in the original, but he just moves around a lot and he's hiding a lot than just being open. You're just seeing this big thing attached to a wall and just going, dodging his tentacle attacks, dodging his grabs, and then just waiting for his thing to pop out on the top to go after that. That was more fun in the original than the remake. I will say this, I did play RE4, the original, on the Oculus 3 when I got that, and it was before the remake. It was before the remake came out, and it made me love it made me love Resident Evil 4 more, because playing it on the VR was just so fun. it's just doing everything free roam, kind of moving like the way you want it, playing with your guns and stuff. That was just so much fun doing, playing all the bosses and stuff. It took me a while because I did take breaks doing it, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it. It made me love the original even more and understand why people love it even more if they even played it on VR. But the remake is just such a memorable game, and people are gonna look at it and be like, this is one of the best Resident Evils ever. This is the best remake ever. And I will say it is better than the original, just by a little bit. The original is still highly up there. But yeah, I would say the remake is better than the original. The remake is my favorite remake out of all of them. And I cannot wait to jump back in Resident Evil 7. I have it installed on my Xbox, ready to go for tomorrow when I play that. And get the video out hopefully by Friday. So yeah. And obviously we had news with the Resident Evil Showcase, which I will be doing a video on Monday. So stay tuned for that. But this was just a look back at the Resident Evil 4 remake. I really love doing these look backs, and I love how they are being supported. Thank you all, and thank you to my friend named V for giving me feedback on the videos and saying how my audio is and all that. I do appreciate him for that and help me out with this stuff, because these are fun videos to make. It pushed me away from the Fortnite content, and I'm glad I'm doing that, because I don't want to be known for Fortnite content a lot. I'm still going to do it here and there for stuff I want to make content on, but I would rather do content on other games, like Resident Evil, for example. I'm doing content on that a lot more. Marvel Rivals, I've been playing that now since, I've been playing it for a few weeks since before Deadpool's out, but I'm wanting to play it more because Deadpool. Maybe I'll have a video on that soon. Don't know yet. But this was a look back at the Resident Evil 4 remake from 2023. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys Monday with a breakdown of the Resident Evil 9 showcase. See you guys then, and bye.
I'll give you a holy body.